It will be probably a surprise for you, but I will take the most difficult challenge for me was to, I would say, be confronted to the European technocracy. I don't say that because the staff that we have in our committee, the staff which is in the Commission or Parliament is bad one. No, they are very engaged persons, mainly the young ones, with a big heart and want to accomplish the best. But the whole system is very technocratic. And this technocracy in Brussels, you know, I've been in Brussels for 40 years, and I would say that the technocracy has overcome the passion and the engagement of all the people who arrive in Brussels. And I've tried during these 40 years to keep my passion for Europe and not to fall in this I would say administrative technocracy. But unfortunately, in this institution like the EC, but I think in the other ones, all the system has been corrupt by the technocracy. That means very long time to take any decision, a lot of administrative burdens. Can you just give you one example? In the EC, any decision had been signed by something like 27 persons, because I was the last to sign as a president. Why 27? And I've tried to make change. My motto of my mandate was Wind of Change, because I still believe that the way institution representing the civil society dealing with EU affairs, it's a very important topic, but we should use modern tools. We are the era of a digitalization. We cannot continue to make written opinion which takes months to be delivered and so on. So I try to change the method, but unfortunately, the bureaucratic, the technocratic system has prevented me to succeed and to make the real reform the EC needed. Yes, both. It's the method and it's the content of the policies. The method, because we should really start to listen to the people, to listen to the citizens, and not to think that we know what they need. And I'm surprised that we continue in European circles where we organize hearings. It's just a small example. We organize a hearing when we just hear ourselves. We ask for audience to come to listen to the distinguished high-level official from the Commission, Member of Parliament, EESC, Council, and so on. We talk, and at the end is always 10 minutes for question. I was last Friday in Thessaloniki, Monday in Thessaloniki for a hearing organized by our institution, and 4 panels, no time for questions. So, and it was called a hearing. So what is it for hearing? We just hear ourselves. So we just have to listen, to find tools to listen, including the farmer from the Rhodope mountain in Bulgaria, to know what he thinks about the cap policy, and not to hear all the same political correct speeches of people from Brussels. This is the methods. But it's also the policy. And I give you some examples. For the last 25 years, the European technocracy, as I say, I don't blame the people, I blame the system, have been corrupted by, how to say, ideas that, just give you one example. Global trade is good. So whatever we have to sign trade agreements with the whole world, from Canada to Japan to China, without regard of the interest of the small producer of textile in Greece, of a small producer, I don't know, of rice in south of France and others, because we consider that globally it's good for benefit for all, but not, we don't see the interest of each particular, but we see a global interest, but global interest never exists. The society is composed by several individual interests, and we have to listen to them, we have to take care, and not to abandon all our identity, all the producers. And this is the fact that people feel that the European Union is not for them, is not at their service. The European Union is for global concerns, which are not the concern of each citizen. If each citizen, we want growth and prosperity, we want jobs, we want protection, and they feel that they don't get it from the European Union. That's the problem. I think that some political leaders from all sides of the political spectrum are conscious. But unfortunately, after a certain time, when they come here to Brussels, when they see that it's so complicated, confront to the technocracy monster that we have created here, then they are discouraged and they don't change anything. I could give you an example for some president of European Commission I met, including the actual one, who when they arrive, they want to make change. They had, I think, very good ideas to be closer to the citizens, but they will be discouraged. During my short mandate of 2.5 years as President of EESC, that was my problem. I couldn't be discouraged, including with short time. I try all the time to come back with ideas of change, of kind of revolution, wind of change, but it's very difficult. So I think that for the time I don't see, I just will see it the day where we will see politicians, people in charge, who will be the real boss of European institutions, women, men, and not the technocratic system, and not that the leaders will be eaten by the technocratic administrative monster who will slow down all the reform. I remember as president, I've been confronted to always the same sentence when you launch new ideas. Yeah, but it's not possible, it's complicated. We have to ask the legal department, we have to do, and after a lot of months of efforts, when you are discouraged. So we should break that, and decide that for once now, the new ideas, what to expect after the new parliamentary election 2019, that the new leaders will emerge in the Commission, Parliament, Council, will have the courage to launch real reforms and not to be eaten, to be slowed down by the bureaucracy. Yes, I would say, of course, there is a direct link. And of course, the last referendum we had in France for the constitutional treaty in Netherlands, but after Brexit in the UK, in the Netherlands, in Denmark, in Greece, concerning the austerity measures, are all show a discontent of the population. And surprisingly, due to this bureaucratic monster, nothing changed. So as nothing changed, citizens have a feeling that the EU system doesn't listen to them. So of course, we have to change it. And there is a risk today. The risk today is the caricature that we can hear, that we say that we would have, as citizens, just one choice. A choice between two ways. The one could be the one to go on, to continue with the same system, to continue with the liberalism, globalization, trade agreements, same policies, not listen to the citizen, or to go back to nationalism and to, I will say, end of Europe. But all these two possibilities, this alternative brings to nowhere and brings to the end of the European dream. And I still have a European dream in my eyes. So I don't accept. I cannot accept this division between East and West, North and South. I think that each part of the European Union has its society, brings a lot to the European values. For example, the people from the Nordic country, they have a high conscience on the question of climate change, environmental issues, democracy. This is very useful. People from the South, they need solidarity, they need a new way to develop the economy, they need jobs for the youth. This is important. And the people from the East, after 50 years of communism, they need to restore their identity, their values, their roots. That's good too. We have to combine all these values to make the European dream great again, and not to divide East and West and North and South. Yes, in my engagement, I've always been open to the situation of human rights all around the world. When I was president of EESC, I've been the first president of European institution to speak on Maidan, Euromaidan in Kiev, end of 2013, not to support Ukrainians against the corrupt regime, not against Russia, but for the human right. I met also His Holiness the Dalai Lama, which doesn't please the Chinese government, but it was because of the rights of the Tibetan nation and for human rights. So I was asked by an NGO to participate to a private visit with 3 MEPs and one colleague, Madi Sharma from the EESC, to go to the Maldives during the summer to meet the opposition, as I say, non-official way, and to understand from them what is the real situation. In a couple of days, there will be election in the Maldives, where the actual president is becoming a dictator, supporting the most radical Islamic movement, including ISIS and the jihadists, and supported by some communist dictatorships, and this going very bad direction. So we were there to support the right to the human rights. So this is linked with my engagement, and I think it's another thing. The European Union should be heard, his voice, fighting for human rights, fighting against dictatorship all over the world, but everywhere. Sometimes we are very tough with some EU member states, we control them, we condemn them, and sometimes because of global geopolitical reasons, we are very weak and we don't say anything, for example, for China, because the Chinese is a good business partner and so on. So we should have a coherence in our view. This was the reason why I went to the Maldives.